Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So there are a few pertinent questions that have come to mind since I actually made my last video where I talked about the possible challenges of getting an Arkham Origins remaster. For those of you who know, this is something that a lot of us here in the community have actually expressed interest in wanting. It would be nice if they actually bring a remaster of this game. But I started to go ahead and, kind of think about what would this mean? What kind of, responsibility does this kind of, amount to in terms of, say, Warner Brothers Games Montreal making this remaster? Because it seems like Arkham Origins does not seem to fit Rocksteady's trio of Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, and Arkham Knight. And what just happened, in my mind anyways, was to come to the conclusion that it may not be a thing that happens because Gotham Knights might be building its own universe. The entire Gotham Knights theme might actually eventually be something that builds on its own theme and then eventually builds its own parallel universe to what Rocksteady has already done with the Arkham universe and is going to be adding upon using the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League game. So I think there's something really interesting to try to, think through what this universe would look like if they were to build it. So if you watch the gameplay trailer for Gotham Knights, there's one reference of the Justice League. Now, this reference, in my opinion, kind of seems, really interesting because it's the reference that Robin is using in that gameplay trailer to kind of teleport from location to location, which is basically a Justice League satellite system or a transporter system. And so it kind of has called into question this particular, incidents in my mind. What if the Justice League is actually lurking around this universe that they're putting together? And so you probably have something that's expansive and can kind of build on from there. Maybe as you're, playing through the Gotham Knights game, there is something that comes into mind. Also, if you think about the Superman game that's being worked on, it's not, or the Superman game that's rumored to being worked on. Let me be very careful with my language. It's not out of the question to say perhaps, Warner Brothers Montreal may want to actually find a way to fuse this Superman game into the Gotham Knights universe and continue from there. Now, yes, it's going to be its own personal game because, Superman, in my opinion anyways, needs his own personal game more than anything else. And I think this is probably where you're going to have to see them start to expand upon things. Because it's very important right now for Warner Brothers Games Montreal to actually go ahead and establish their own universe and establish themselves as a comic video game maker and just do their own thing. I don't know to what extent they're going to be able to have that creative freedom, but in my opinion, I think they probably do have as much as it takes, if you get what I mean, to kind of continue to channel things, the way that they wanted to. I mean, the evidence is actually from some of the things that Patrick Redding has said in interviews where he talked about what the canon for the Gotham Knights game looks like. People asked him and said, so what is this Gotham Knights game going to be looking like? What cartoons, what comics, what storylines are you guys interpolating this game from? And he said, if we had to sit here and discuss the number of comics and a number of references that we're getting the Gotham Knights from, it would take so long because the references, the characters, the storylines, the arcs, everything is going to be a combination, or I would say a culmination of what the Gotham Knights have been able to achieve or their storylines in different, media, or I would say comics and books and graphic novels and cartoons and whatever it is that you've probably laid your hands on to see them in action. So I think this is probably a reality if you were to ask me, and I think it needs to happen because, again, this will probably go ahead and clear out the confusion right now, and it will set Warner Brothers Games Montreal in their own, paradigm. They're going to be running their own thing. Because, again, if you kind of think about it, if you consider what's going on right now, there are multiple Marvel games being made by different studios all over the place. And it's apparent that those games are actually being made in different universes, especially the fact that most of the Marvel IPs have shown up in the cinematic universe. And then they're also making the video game universes, which, do not look anything like the cinematic stuff where in the case of the Avengers, where they use a whole different, set of characters, and even in the Guardians of the Galaxy game as well, where they're using a whole set of different characters, or I would say representation of those characters to kind of like highlight that universe that was not shown in the cinematic side. I think this is the perfect opportunity right now. But again, that's pretty much something that I was just thinking about and I wanted to share here with you guys. We will continue on this conversation hopefully soon. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. If you enjoy the conversations that we have here on the Batman and DC themes, please leave a comment and also consider subscribing. It really does help the channel. And I hope to see you guys hopefully in another video. Thank you so much for listening. Peace out.